All right. Hey, hey, it's your Reverend Dr. Marie Beville coming to finish up that conversation. Of course, my laptop died at a time that I didn't even expect it to die, so I had to put it in charge. Talking about loneliness and versus being alone. So I have no clue where was I, but we just gonna continue. That was too funny. I don't even know how much went in and how much was missed. But you know, what I kind of was saying um could be to ensure that when you're making decision to bring God into the situation, whoever you call God, whoever is your God, whoever is your Messiah, whoever is your prophet, be sure to bring them into your decision making process. It just make things much more easier for you. It becomes less stressful. Maybe where I left up was about talking. You gotta talk to yourself, spend time with yourself. And I'm not saying to go have a discussion, to have a fight, to have a debate, with yourself, but sometimes spend time to talk with yourself in the sense of, sometimes I do so. I'll tell you how I do it. I don't have my headset, but I would have my headset. And once you have a headset on, people think you're talking to someone else. So, and I'm not talking like at a loud voice, as you can tell, like I'm not too loud, but there are times that I can be. Um, but it would be like in the morning, not too many people out, and if people are out, they minding their business. So I would just kind of like, okay, let's see. So it doesn't have to be like you're talking the whole time, like you getting words out loud. I could, let's say like I'll tell you my process so you could see what I'm talking about. So I'm up in the morning, whatever I'm doing, water break. Um, whatever I'm doing, um, put my clothes on, getting ready to go. I have something in my mind. Um, let's say it's a decision that I need to make, and I'm not sure. So now it's like, when you have to make a decision, your mind is like all over the place. You're like, okay, should I move to Michigan or Maryland or a different end? Because the end hasn't been working for you. So you're like, maybe I should do Georgia. I should do New York. Like a different sound to the ear, you know. So you're like, okay. So I'm like, okay, right. Let's say it's me that has to make that decision. So now I'm going, I go downstairs, finish up, whatever. And if I'm going to the park, drive to the park, or if I'm just going to walk around, if I'm feeling good enough for that. So okay, I get out, I stretch to the limit that I can, to the level that I can, whatever. Minding my business. Sometimes people are walking their dogs. I'm just telling you everything that's like going on so you can understand what I'm saying, so you don't go do some different, a little bit too creative. When you're too creative, it looks like it's crazy, they call it. So I get down, I look around to see, like how many people around. Okay, it's just that guy way over there walking his dog and talking on the phone. Okay. So sometimes I could put on my headset, listening to some very light music, not loud, but very low. And so I could have the conversation and I don't feel like I'm hearing myself, and because sometimes when you hear yourself, you get agitated or you get annoyed. Oh, I can't believe she did this to me. That was my best friend, and da da da, So I put the, classical music, jazz, something to probably keep the mood balanced. And And then I would walk, and I'm like, okay, so now we gotta make a decision, right, sister? All right, sister. Let's see, Queen, because we gotta make that decision today. Okay? So I'm walking and I'm walking. Oh, I'm seeing the deer, but I'm still minding my business. So now let's see. If we move to Georgia, this is what it's gonna be. This is what it's gonna be. But if we move to New York, um, this is what's gonna be. Because now I've researched both places that I'm trying to make a decision about. It's not like I'm just speculating. Because a lot of times, we say that things are difficult for us to make a decision about, but yet we never really researched it. So now I've made my research, and I know what some of the issues are. So now I'm talking and I'm like, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do that? Okay. You know, and then I just keep mentioning, well, if I go there, I'm going to be closer to friends. But if I go to New York, I'm going to be closer to family. If I go to that place, I'm going to be closer to colleagues that I went to school with. Put all of that into perspective. So now, who do I want to be close to? Do I want to be close to my colleagues, my classmates? Or do I want to be close to my friends? Or do I want to be close to family? But here I am with newborn. I just have twins, in my hands, and I really need help. Will my colleagues take time from work to come and help me? Will my friends take time to come and help me? Or will my family take time to come and help me? Well, they don't have a choice. That's their little niece and nephew. So there you go. They'll be more than happy they'll be more than happy to come over to watch them and spend time with them while I go back to school or while I go to work or whatever it is. So I hope you understand what I mean. So you can talk to yourself. I'm not talking like in the middle of a crowded bus, although some people do it anyway, because it's like sometimes, especially like when you go to New York City, people have like things in their head and they gotta let it out, and sometimes you gotta let it out in public because you don't want to end up in being institutionalized. So but my thing is, it's like, you could take a walk at a park, and I'm not saying go to some like isolated place where if somebody's choking you, no one is gonna find out. I'm talking being safe in a place. And you can even pull over and just sit in your car. Sometimes I do that. I just go by the water and I just sit in my car. And my car is on park, please. Um, put the car on park. I did lose a friend like that, so please do put the car on park. And don't be too close to the water. Don't be where you don't need to. Stay at your limit if you go by the water. Um, and just sit there and just, especially when you go early in the morning, it's quiet. It's not too much traffic. I mean, you might hear cars or um, trucks or whatever it is, but it's not too much traffic as far as people running left and right and making noise, because everybody's kind of home or at work. So just talk to yourself. Just tell yourself the things that you want, the pros and cons, why you want to do this, why you want to do that, the kind of changes you hope to see in your life, and then take it from there. It's not that difficult. What's bad, what's not good is when we have so many things in our head and we're not making decisions. We're not making a decision if we're gonna go left or if we're gonna go right, if we're gonna buy one or if we're gonna buy two. So you gotta definitely make up your mind and do the things that you need to do. So as I was saying too, is that your search will be made easier when you can have a conversation with yourself, with your God within, and see where you go with that. Don't force the process. Don't Don't go do something and claim that, oh yeah, I heard God say things. Sometimes I hear people say that and I'm like, so God told you to go do this. And I try not to judge, but I'm not gonna deny sometimes I would. When you hear someone doing something terrible to another person, and then they have the nerve to say, God told them. It's like, the forgiving God that says to forgive 777 times is suddenly gonna tell you to go hurt someone else. And so sometimes people use that conveniently, and I am hoping, I'm pressing upon you to not do that, to just try to mind your business. Stay with your God within and do what you have to do. And when you hold on to God, when you make decision closer to God, with God, the search that you're making is so much more easier. Um, because like the light, the knowledge, the wisdom that is being pulled in from God within is so powerful, is so strong, is so bright, that suddenly the things you couldn't see, you will see. It's just like meditation. If you try to meditate, even if you don't know how to meditate, because no one can teach you, honestly, no one can teach you or tell you how to meditate. Meditation is something that you will have to figure out kind of on your own. It's kind of like growing up. People could tell you, I'm not saying people can tell you anything about it, because I'm telling you right now. People can tell you things about it, but at the end of it, it's you that make the decision of what works. If sitting on the floor works, if sitting on the bench works, if sitting outside works, if sitting on the bathroom works, you know. Um, so, your bathroom is your sanctuary too. You spend quite a lot of time in there sometimes. So, you kind of like have to figure out on your own what works and what doesn't work. So, it's all up to you. You will see, like, when you meditate, like throughout the day or in the morning, you see, like, when you go out, it's like everything is in HD, like high definition. Like the flowers are brighter, the sun is brighter, the animals are so much more beautiful than you said before. You might even see a butterfly if you hang around. So it just, things are so much more not only easier, but so much more, you can see through. Like no one can come and BS you about nonsense, because the minute they come, you can tell, you can sense, you have the discernment to know that this is not what I'm looking for. This is not who I called to come forward. This you were not on my list. Let me check. Yeah, you're not on this list, so back it up, So just invite your maker into your decision process. It makes it so much more easier for you. And then not only that too, everything that your eyes will catch, will see that day, will definitely have new meanings that they may have never had before. Everything will be different to you. Not only that you're seeing with your eyes, with your regular eyes, but with your inner eyes, they will have new meanings. You will suddenly, like, what I mean is that when you see, you see the flowers are beautiful, you see the bees, you see, it's like wow. But now you will remember that, oh, don't kill the bees. The bees are important for the environment. Because of the bees, that's why we have the flowers. Because of the flowers, that's why we have the bees. They need each other. And like stuff like that. Like when you see things, they will have better meanings to you. They will have a different meaning. They are not just gonna be It's not just going to be just a bee. It's going to be like, wow, this is part of my environment. This is part of this environment. So I have to protect it if possible. Excuse me. That's been a water break. All right. So I kind of, you know, wrote something, and I don't want to get anybody lost in what I was saying, but let's say this is for the Christian people or someone who may tend to be more Christian than anything else out there. I said, consider consider the Holy Spirit as your translator, you know, between you and God. And that's not because like there's a secret language when it comes to God that you can't understand, but because sometimes you're not where you're supposed to be. You know, remember I was talking about that discernment. You're not where you're supposed to be, because like, for example, you haven't let go of things that you're supposed to let go of. You haven't shed um, your skin. You haven't shed the weights, the heavy weights that hold you down, the baggages that are weighting you down. You haven't shed them. You haven't let go of things. So it's like now you need the Holy Spirit to kind of like intercede. You know, like when people are praying, they see, please, Holy Spirit, intercede for me. You know, like when people are praying, they're like, Jesus, intercede for me. You know, intercede for me in front of God. It's like the person feels like they can't reach God themselves. They have to ask someone else. Oh, my Lord, I'm trying. And there you have it. Okay, I didn't break it this time, at least. Hang in there. It's just I can't sit too long, and I think now I like really overdid it. Although I did take a kind of got up when this kind of broke out, but yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, like the Holy Spirit would intercede for you, and then would translate. It's like sometimes you feel like you're praying and it's like your prayer's not getting up. It's like you need someone to translate to the language, that, as if God doesn't understand your language. It's like, even if God understands your language, but when God sends the message down, you don't get it. It's like you're like, send me a sign, and then you go to a place and the person shows you the exact sign you asked for, and then you don't believe it. You become a non-believer. Now you want to go and change it. Now you want to go and do this. Now you want to go and, you know, you keep trying to like change the story because you don't have discernment to captivate, to capture the message. I'm not trying to confuse you, but I'm just trying to make a point, pretty much, that when you don't have discernment, no matter how many times the good comes to you, you're gonna keep refuting it. Like, there's a story about someone who was like, God, where were you? I kept asking for you, but you know, when I was in the storm, you didn't come for me. I had to find my own way. But what about the boat? You were sent a boat, but you didn't get in the boat because you were waiting on God. What about the guy who stopped by to give you a ride and you said, no, God is going to see me through? What about the other guy on the bike that was trying to give you a ride? The other guy, you know, you refused everybody. So what way was God supposed to come? What way did you want God to come? It's like sometimes we refuse to accept things but the way we want it packaged. Sometimes what we needed was given, was sent to us, but we thought, you know, we thought it was going to be something else. We thought it was going to be wrapped, in the Christmas package instead of just a plain black wrapper or white wrapper, just like neutral colors. Because it didn't come wrapped um, properly in that nice silky paper, silky, um, whatever, we just like refuse it because you know what? This is sandpaper that's gonna be like keep on, cleaning. I don't have anything to clean. I'm not taking the sandpaper. In the meantime, the sandpaper, it was sent to you in sandpaper so it could help you shed away, remove all these um baggages that are weighting you down. So yeah, you know, um so let go of things. Sometimes when you're not getting what you're looking for is that you lack to let go of things that are in your way. You refuse to let go of things that have crossed your path, things that people have done to you. And it's not everything that people do to you that they meant to do to you. A lot of times people do things to you out of ignorance, you know, but because you're so hurt, it makes it difficult for you to let it go. Just like the person, you also in ignorance and you hold on to the hurt. You could have hold on to anything else in the world. You hold on to the hurt and you miss out on other opportunities. You know, um, I'll give you an example of my life. I remember I had what do you call them? A conference that I missed a couple of times because I became sick. I had an injury. And no matter how many times thereafter I tried to catch up, I just couldn't make it. I couldn't. And finally, I was like, I have to make it because this is it. The person was about to retire, and I'm like, I really respect this person. I enjoy what they do. So I'm like, I really have to find a way to do so. So at last, found a way, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. I don't know, sometimes you don't know how. You just know this is what you want to do, and somehow the ways, the stuff that you need just show up. So I made it there, and then I met a couple of people, and people give me a lot of compliments about my wares, my clothes, my fashion, my head wrap, my jewelries, Everybody was like, oh my God, the beautiful shirts, the way I wear things. It was just like, wow, are you in fashion? And I'm like, yeah, I love fashion. I'm meant to be in fashion. I can do some stuff, but I can't really claim to be in fashion, to do things for people, because I'm going to be in trouble maybe, I'll get carried away. So, imagine that, this is like a weekend. I had quite a number of compliments about any and everything about me. People were just, people were just kind. And because they knew that they noticed that I couldn't really be in line, people were kind enough to save me a seat. Sometimes, because I had to take certain medication, I couldn't get up, and people would save me seats. And I mean, perfect. Yeah, everything was fine. And during that time too, I still was having issue. My mouth was still locked, and I couldn't. I'm like really good right now, although I'm pushing it. But this is why, like, I'm trying to take my time to speak, because it's really hard for me to talk. And listen, y'all should be sending me a lot of money for pushing myself to talk right now and doing this, because it's, let's not even embellish that story. It was really painful. So, one person, imagine, everybody was just like, wow, even um when we had to do certain exercises, I was a bit embarrassed. Not necessarily embarrassed, but I think I have something in me. I don't like to talk about the negativity. I don't like to talk about I'm in pain. I don't like to talk about um, things that don't bring me joy. I'm a very happy person. Like, regardless, I'm made happy. I choose to be happy. Like, probably, when my mom was giving birth, she was just like, listen, this is not mine. This one is too bouncy. I was, I've always chosen to be happy, regardless what's going on in my life, regardless what happened. Even if you see tears in my eyes, a smile is not too far. You know, that's the type of person that I am. And nothing can change that in the world. And even this and that and that and this and this. So, um, and one person made a silly comment, you know. What happened is that I couldn't talk. Because I couldn't talk, I didn't want to keep telling people I couldn't talk. So I just said, I just go ahead, you know, I'll take care of my exercise later, but you guys go ahead. And I wasn't even supposed to be there that morning, because I couldn't even, like, it was such a battle for me to even be there. I really couldn't be there. And at that time, I didn't even have, they couldn't even find the proper medication, the proper dosage for me. So it was just like a mess. It's like the impact it would have, it's like it would make me it would make me lethargic when I needed to be up. It's like I couldn't sleep all night, but then when it's daytime, I need to handle my business. That's when I can't function. That's when I'm sleeping. So this person find it necessary to make a silly comment about not even that big of a deal, right? She said, I'll tell you. She said, because I'm sure she'll watch this one day. She said, the list you, something of the nature of the least you could do if you come here, you paid for this, and this is very, expensive. If you paid to be here, you should, you need to participate. But she said it in a different manner, you know, very nasty. And it irks me. See, I'm not saying hurt or, but it irks me because I knew what I had to go through to be there. From one wheelchair to another, to this, to that. I knew what it took for me to be there because I wasn't supposed to be there. And it's like she didn't know, and I didn't feel the need to tell her, but this is what stayed with me for a while. And then my friend was like, I don't understand why you still holding on to that. I didn't want to keep it, but it hurts me so much, so bad, that it took a while for me to be able to talk about it right now. That's how annoyed I was. And then later on, I realized this person wasn't necessarily trying to hurt me. This is what we were talking about earlier. But this person was miserable. This person was lonely. And later on during another exercise, that person stood up and expressed their pain, their frustration about life, and then I understood, and then I was able to somewhat let it go, you know, and because then I understood it wasn't about me. Because I always have that thing, if you've watched this or if you've had conversations with me, with people like that, I usually say, it's not about you. Somebody kicked that cat way before you came. And this is an expression to say that when you see people mad and upset and try to push you out of the way and doing things in such a way that would even shock you, it's not about you. It's about someone else. But maybe they're not able to address it. It could be about their boss could do something to them, but they're not able to address it with their boss, so they're taking it out on you. So whatever that's going on in that person's life, it's like it's not about you. When you see them reacting with you and doing things to you, it's not about you. It's really about somebody else, and they trying to take it out on you. So, but for me, that was my experience. It's like no matter how many compliments I got, but the one stupid comment, that's what stayed with me. Other people saw it. They see that I wasn't, doing too many of the exercises. The people that I was, the person that I was with, she knew why, and she just let it be. Sometimes she did exercises with me, but it wasn't fair for her to always be with me and doing all the exercises with me. Sometimes, we choose other people so we could meet other people, because that was the purpose of the thing, to really how do you say, a network, so yeah, so that was it. So sometimes, you gotta let go of things. You gotta shed some weight, let go of the baggages, so you could have the language of your maker, and you would be able to communicate directly without having to go through a pastor, through a prophet, through anybody else. You can have your line directly to reach out. But when you're not letting go of these things, you're going to need a mediator or a translator or, a moderator or somebody to help you to go through this, because it's like as if you're not familiar with this process. So just know that everything you want to receive, everything you wish for, you can give to yourself. First, maybe give to yourself. If you want love, give love to yourself. If you want money, give money to yourself. I know it may not be 1,000,000, but you can act like you got 1,000,000. If you want, I don't know, good water, give good water to yourself. If you want someone who's fit, be fit first. Don't be like 200 pounds overweight. And I don't even like to speak in those terms, but I'm just speaking in those terms because that's how we understand each other. Because even if you're 200 pounds overweight, you're still beautiful for someone else. But I'm just saying that don't be in your mind you want this person, but you're not even willing to do the work to be that. Don't say that you want a girl who's like beautiful, who's like got her nails done, and then when she doesn't want to cook to mess up her nails, you're going to be mad at her. No, don't be mad at her. This is what you wanted. I've listened to guys complaining so much sometimes because the woman they were hoping for is not the woman they got. Instead, they went with their eyes and picked up the prettiest they could. You picked up the rose, but remember the rose got all these. You got to be careful. Otherwise, you're going to get poked. You're going to get hurt and you're not going to like it. Some guys, they go with their eyes, they go pick up the first pretty things that they see without even realizing, am I allergic to this? you know, is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? Will I be able to eat this? Will I be able to drink it? Will I be able to use it? Will I be able to keep it forever in my house? They just go with the first thing that they could find. And then later on, they want to be mad at everybody. They want to be mad at the world, because they didn't make the right choice. I need something. I need another pillow. That's my regular life. Welcome to my life. Okay. That's much better. So, they, you know, they just pick up whatever they could pick up, and then later on, they want to come back. They want to be mad at people. They wanna talk bad about women. They wanna no. That's the choice that you made, and don't blame the world. You picked up a woman that was that had her career. She was busy, and once you get with her, now you want her to just quit everything that she's doing. You want her to forget about her career. You want her to be yours. You want her to stay at home. You didn't meet her at home. You met her at the club. You met her, I don't know, in the store. You met her at a party, at a barbecue. So obviously, maybe that's some of the things she likes to do. So don't try to shut her down after you picked her up. It's just like it's just funny to me when people do things like that. you know Maybe that woman likes to wear her short mini skirts, and now you want her to stop, but this is what attracted you to her. I understand you don't want other people to look at her, but this is a conversation you need to have with her. You don't need to be upset with her. You don't need to want to hate her, or to make it seem as though she's not the person you met. She is the person you met. You know, it's just that now you want her to tone it down. This is something that's going to be up to her. And this is a conversation you two need to have. But it's not a battle. It's not an argument. It's not, you're not going to win, because this is how you found her. When you met her, she told you she doesn't like to cook. She doesn't cook, and you were more than willing to be in the kitchen. You were always in the kitchen, or you were at a restaurant. And now once you engage, once you married, and now you want her to change, she's not going to change, because that's not who she is. So just remember that. Remember of the power of intentions, meaning that you can always get whatever you want as long as you can believe you deserve it.